really hoping that poem would be longer. No, don't be over already. Hi, I'm Dan. Thanks for having me. And I went home to America for the first time, to my university last summer. Met my professor, and I'm like the world's worst student. I made 2 teachers cry when I was a kid, and it was the proudest thing that I've ever done. And then I graduated college at 28. Like I had to scrape and claw. But his class was the only one I did well in, and then he gave me my writing from 7 years ago. So if it's like college-y, yeah, it's because it's college-y. So anyway, thank you. All right, here we go. I'm a complainer. I love to whine. I love to go home and grumble, talk about my day. If I keep it inside, I bubble. I rage quietly, I simmer, I shoot sneaky glares. So I decompress. Dial it, don't file it. It means to call or talk to someone and not let it fester inside you. Don't let the toxic mold and rot fester. Don't let it bring down your foundation from the inside. So I call my friends, I text them, I bother my classmates, I ring up my sisters, I write about it. On March 2013, I went to my first therapy session. And then group therapy, then art therapy with grad students because that's cheaper, then yoga at the YMCA, then mindfulness classes, then praying silently in empty churches that I drive by in the middle of the day, too shy to pray in front of other people. Then the psychiatrist appointments, the pharmacy store lines for the daily pills that are meant to make me feel better. 1 Prozac in the morning, 40 milligrams. 1 Vyvanse in the morning, 50 milligrams. 1 Lamotrigine at night, 200 milligrams. The testing for the learning disabilities in school, the explanations to professors, the apologies to group project members, chasing down department heads, seeking out tutors, asking for academic coaches. What's an academic coach, anyway? Begging school administrators to get overrides, exceptions, late withdrawals. No parties, no booze, no weed, no LSD. Just sharing at session after session, spilling my soul to whoever I had to listen. But that fucking faucet would still drip, drop by drop. I'd try to leave it alone. I'd try to fix it. I'd ignore it. It wouldn't go away. I could hear the drip at night when everything else felt quiet. Once the strange noises that are unique to each house had themselves gone to bed, the sound of the steady drip, it felt overwhelming. And sometimes it would just stop, and I'd wait. I'd found the miraculous end. But the bubble of liquid on the lip hanging upside down, it'd pop, suddenly. Blink and it was never there. The water hits the sink, reverberating, announcing itself like a heavy rumble. I could feel the vibration as I cowered underneath my blankets. The breath that I'd been holding forced itself out of my lungs in surrender. This tedious ritual would play endlessly in a loop, misery played over and over again, until I was too exhausted to keep track. Eventually I allowed the drip to fall unnoticed, and I'd collapse into a restless sleep. But all those doctors, those appointments, those meetings, it had to mean I was getting better. But as soon the flood that was waiting behind the walls would rush forward, propelled by jets of self-doubt, the dam would break and sweep away everyone that was unlucky enough to be standing around me. Somehow I'd still be left standing. I'd sometimes sleep until 8 at night. I'd abandon all classes, commitments, friendships. I'd begrudgingly become awake, resentful at the slumber that had abandoned me. I'd see her face and know that I might have loved her for a very long time. The tears that well up in the corner of her eyes when I told her I'd slept with somebody else. More often than I want to admit, I cry when I'm alone in staircases or elevators. Sobs that swallow themselves in milliseconds when an elevator doors open. I pray all the time. I ask something that's supposed to be watching from a distance for some hope to become a better person, for all this weary effort to have meant something, for my feet that have dragged themselves into room after room to carry me somewhere, a place where I can be happy and loving without the condition of future heartbreak. I nearly shouted at a stubborn financial aid cashier or a Steinish mailroom clerk, people that don't deserve it. So I run the sessions as if I'm running in front of a slow tidal wave that pulls up my back and wants to suck me in, my torso rising, each step fighting an undercurrent that tries to pull me under. I choke up when I speak and fall silent in the middle of sentences. I'm standing on my toes and I'm tilting my head back, gasping as water reaches my neck and spills over the lobes of my lopsided ears, blocking out sound, taking me to that awful place where you can only hear your lungs, defiantly holding on, waiting for the pop and the collapse. And then I'm crying. Tears are spilling out of my eyes like the beads that fell out of Near's or Marissa's or Annie's. They all had brown eyes. Drops forming small channels like raindrops on a car window, crawling down the surface as you watch the riverlet's move in slow, jerking motions. Then they're frantic, yet peaceful as it races to the ground. But I take another step. I won't go under. My spine will always stretch to its limit, and my neck will defiantly flare as it arches. I might not be able to say the words, but I could silently mouth them. I'm getting better, I'm getting better, I'm getting better.